Vroom, 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 vroom. Honk, honk. Get in, losers. We're going struggling. Vroom, 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 vroom. Hello, friends, and welcome to another Ride and Struggle Bus, where every wheel's an empty triangle. Today we have the fourth and final game from our recent tournament, and I played this game a long while ago at this point in time, so hopefully I can remember why I did all the moves I did, but I think so. I've taken a look at the game. It all makes sense to me. So this is our fourth game. We are playing against somebody from my own local club, so it's somebody I have played a few times in the past. If it was this time last year, I'd feel really confident because I felt I was a little bit stronger than him. But recently, he's gotten quite a bit stronger. I think he entered this tournament as a 1K. He probably could have entered as a 1-dan. I think he was probably right on that cusp. But I think 1K probably makes sense here. Either way, this is a really fun game. I take black in this one, and it turns into a pretty just like all the other ones. It's a pretty fighty game, which is fun. And we get to take our early influence and use it. Hopefully we can use it successfully and see if we can get that 3-1 record. But there's only one way to find out, and that is by watching the game. So let's get into the game. Okay, here we go. Like I said, we are black this game, and typically when I play black, I like playing the mini Chinese, so I'll play, at least play a 4-4. We will play a 3-4 facing his 4-4 stone, and then and pretty much regardless of what he plays up top, we will be approaching here. And typically I get pincered here, but we'll see if my opponent lets us play the mini Chinese, and he does. Fantastic. Honestly, I like the opening, though. If you guys watched the last video I did, I am going to be mixing things up a bit with my opening, because not that this has gotten stale or anything, but I've played a lot. I want to try some new stuff. Okay, so our friend attaches to our 3-4, which is fairly typical. This is one of the normal responses to this, and so our stone got attached to, so we can play one of the extensions or one of the Hanes, and honestly, they're all playable. Kind of just depends what I feel like doing, and I think for this game, we can just take the corner or stay strong. But I'm going to go take the outside here. See how white responds to this. Typically, white will play R3. And he does, and so we can look at connecting or the Atari and then connect. Let's go with the Atari. White will most assuredly connect here, and then we're just going to connect. And white can push at P3, maybe do something like O2 here, P2. I don't know. We'll see. Potentially even cut, but I don't think this is a cut that white wants. Okay, so just makes quick, easy life. That is fair. So the question now is, do we owe another move over here? Do we want to stop white from being able to jump out? And I think so. I think if we keep this pressed down to the second line, that's still fine. Obviously, when we chose to take the outside, we're looking to get some influence, and pressing this stone down will be consistent with that. Don't really want white to be able to play a move like O3. So let's go and play N3. I think this will be a forcing move. Black will probably, or white will probably play something like N2, and then we can go looking to play elsewhere on the board. But instead, he tanukis. So I think we probably want to pressure this stone. Play away from our strength. But I do think we can get another move over here. O4, still kind of an annoying move. But if we play O3, I think that threatens to kill the corner. If white ignores, we could Hane at P2, which I think kills the corner. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to play this. Pretty sure this is a forcing move, and then we can look at going after the R10 stone. So our opponent does protect, that is fine. We are stronger now, and so now I think we want to play something over here. You know, use our strength to fight. We can also just ignore this for now, because white does have a 2-space extension in either direction. But I think this is fine, because it'll actively develop the corner. So yeah, so I wonder if white will jump out something like P10, make a quick base with R7, could also look at R8, could also Tanuki. There are lots of options, and white decides to take a base. So I still think I want to keep on pressuring this a little bit, or at least threaten to pressure it. So I'm wondering if we could play, you know, a really aggressive move like P10, if we could press it down with either Q8, Q9. We could also jump at P12 again to further, you know, develop our corner. This obviously doesn't take the corner, but it builds a lot of potential there, and just gets stronger to go after this group. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to play here and see if we can continue to pressure this group. So white jumps out. Perfectly reasonable. With this shape, there's this kind of probing move we can play to see if white wants to play at R8 or Q7. So yeah, let's go play this and see how our friend responds. If he plays R8, we can look at cutting through. I don't think he's going to play R8 because I think that cut is a little too much, and so yeah, he does choose to block it. So we could look at something like R8, because that cuts off these 2 stones. The thing with that though is white can give up that stone and take the turn at P8, and so I think I'd rather just stay strong and get get some more influence outside. We could look at the diagonal. I really like how that looks. We can also just attach to this stone and build strength that way. Though that would be attaching to a weak stone, but we've got a weak stone here too. So yeah, let's go ahead and try this. I think this will be okay enough. We'll see how our opponent chooses to respond to this. And so he extends. We could block, we could Hane, we could just connect. I think connecting is reasonable here. And then we can, after he connects, we can continue, we can consider jumping out. Oh, so white pushes that way. I don't think that's going to work out too well, because if we block and he Hanes, we can push through and cut these 3 stones off. And if he connects, we can descend or jump out. We've got lots of options here, but this is really the only move to consider now. But I wonder what white's going to do. This is a tricky situation, but we will see. So he does Hane, but I'm pretty sure we can just cut through here, right? If we play here, and he blocks, we can threaten to kill these 3 stones, and then yeah, that's pretty good. So let's go take this cut. Pretty sure white is obligated to block, but now we can choose how we want to cut. We can start on this side, but let's go start on the inside. White could potentially connect, but then he's going to have this floating group. He's going to have a floating group no matter what. So okay, so yeah, so he goes after the stone. That's fine. We'll play here. White will most assuredly capture the stone, and now we can just play here. And yeah, white's alive, but now white has this really heavy group that we potentially get to attack for the rest of the game. He might even consider just leaving those 3 stones alone. But he does jump out. Okay, so I definitely want to attack this group, and I want to get profit from it. So where could our profit be? Well, we've got a good amount of potential here. So if we get a move like K7 and we're able to kind of chase the group and then chase it and then finish with a move like F6, we develop a really big potential on the bottom. Conversely, we could approach it from the top and try to develop the top if we get it in Sensei and then end with something like K16. So we've got some options. One thing worth noting, we have a cut at at p5 that's potentially dangerous. So I think before we do anything, I want to fix this. And I think the best way to fix it is with this peep. Because if we play here and white cuts, then we've got a ladder. And this threatens to cut the 3 stones off. So let's go play here, see if white's really invested in saving these 3 stones, or if white's going to play something like m10, or again, still potentially Tanuki here. But white is investing some more moves into this group. So let's continue to attack. I think what we're going to do, we've got a couple options. We could go really aggressive and play this capping move, but things potentially get a little tricky there. I mean, things are going to get tricky no matter what. But I'm unsure exactly where our profit's going to be with this, versus if we just pressure a little less firmly, like a move like this. Again, if this ends in sensei, we can look at a move like f6 to really develop. Because white's not getting anything out of this. It's like white got a few points in life here, but that's it. So yeah, let's play here and go attack the group. I suspect he'll play a move like n10. That's a pretty good shape move. He could attach at n7, at which point we will Hane. There are options. Okay, so he Hanes here. Is this Sensei? I don't know if this is Sensei or not. Yeah, not sure if this is Sensei. We could probably just go jump at k8. But then again, this is a good shape move. Potentially gets white an eye. Looks at the cut. So yeah, let's just fix this, and you know, make white have to work for some eye space here. Okay, so now he jumps there. Kind of, I feel like that's a little slow, but obviously that is fine. So now I think we want to block white from coming this way, chase white up so that we can curve on top and try to develop the top as well. I think that's probably what our plan is going to be, and or get some strength and then go break up the left side. So let's go play here and just continue pressing this group. Just like always, our goal isn't to kill this group. We're just looking to attack. We're just looking to get profit somewhere. So, okay, so 2 space extension up against this really strong wall. This might be a little too fast. This is a cuttable shape. So do we want to cut it? I think we do. I think we want to cut it. So the question is, which of these 2 moves is the best way to cut? I think I'd rather attach to the stronger stone. So let's start here, and we're just going to plan on cutting and seeing what this turns into. So he takes the Hane, and we're going to cut. This works because the ladder doesn't work for either direction. We can also, when we play here, if white Ataris, we can Atari on top and connect and cut this stone. So we're going to play here, which is the cut. This was the plan. Again, the goal was just to cut this stone off. We can sacrifice either of these stones as long as this one gets separated. Okay, so white extends. We can't play here. We can't connect because then this sets up the ladder. If we play here, he's just going to play O11 into, or O10 into O11 and do the ladder. So can't do that. So let's go Atari the stone and see what happens here. Obviously, if he does anything other than extending, we'll capture the stone. And if he extends, we can then look at playing O10. So he does extend. So now we need to figure some things out. Okay, so I'm pretty sure we have to connect, but that's okay, because if he goes to capture this stone, we can connect, which threatens to cut here or threatens to cut here. I think both of those outcomes would be fine. So I'm just going to connect and see what way he goes with it. Again, if he plays the ladder, we can just play here, or we can connect again. That threatens both cuts, because this cut's pretty big too. So that's something that white needs to worry about. So white protects it that way, which is fine. Like I said at the beginning of this, I was willing to sacrifice this as long as we cut this off. And so now I'm just going to extend, because now we're connected. If white tries to block here, we get a double Atari. And on top of all this, as we watch for white trying to get eye space here, this stone's already on a vital point, which is pretty awesome. So yeah, so now white's gonna have to fight to find some eye space to get life here, because this isn't even an eye yet. If we play 08, we capture those stones. But either way, we're not looking to kill. We have to make sure that we surround this group. So it is fine if white lives. We just need to ensure that white does not break out. So we're going to block here. White extends, and yeah, there's really no choice. We must block. The cut isn't going to work, because if white cuts, we can just extend. White doesn't have the timing to cut. White does not have the time to cut here. White isn't alive yet. So so this looks kind of okay. Okay, so now white's going here. I wonder if we can play this right now, this Atari. But white might get out a little too easily. These two stones aren't too important if white gets the Atari and then can find a way to drive out. So let's just extend here. Again, we just want to make sure we surround white. If you surround your opponent in Sente, then it's a pretty good thing, and this feels good. And now we are getting to develop this bottom area. And if you remember, way back, when I was playing here, I mentioned, we can attack and potentially turn this into some real points, and so that's kind of what we've gotten here with white playing this. So yeah, we extend, and yeah, this feels good. So white's going to take the peep. That's fine. Yeah, we'll block. We don't want to get cut. We do not want to get cut here, so we'll just strengthen. Up. That seems perfectly reasonable. White pushes here. Yeah, that's fine. We're gonna block this. Though I wonder, can we play this? It's possible. It's certainly possible. But let's just, again, let's not overdo it. Surrounding in Sente will always be a good, profitable thing. So let's do that. Now white plays here. So I wonder if there is now a kill buried in here. Now that white is fully surrounded, we could look at L8. The issue is, if white protects, then this cut might become dangerous, because we run out of a liberty here. But this does remove an eye from white. White has like half an eye here, half an eye here, and half an eye here. But you want to know what? I think we're just going to keep it simple for now. I'm just going to play this. What's nice about this is it obviously kills these two stones, saves this one, but it comes in Sente, because now if we play L8, the group does die. So getting this in Sente feels pretty good. And so white does protect. The cut is not important now, because we can always capture this stone. So let's go threaten to poke this eye out. I fully suspect white's going to play M5 now, and white does. And so we get all this in Sente, and that feels pretty good. Maybe there was an opportunity to look for a kill in this group. But surrounding in Sente feels really good. We've got great potential here. White only got 2 points. We got more than that with this capture. There's a floating group here. And now we've got some strength that faces the left. So now I think it's time to go now Tanuki. We're done with this fight. This fight is done. I think a move like this is a little too small. I know I did mention we could look at getting all this and then ending with a move like this, but that's more if these stones were further to the right, like if they were on the L column or M column, not the J column. I think a move like this would be a little too small right now. So let's go approach the the last corner. Well, not the last corner because this corner is still wide open. But let's go approach white's corner, and so white attaches. So yeah, we'll do this basic variation. This is fine. I like getting this strength facing these stones. That feels fine. I will connect. White will. I wouldn't be surprised if white Tanukis here, but white does take f17. I wonder if we can Tanuki here. We could look at a move like h17. We could look at a move like o17. But I do think I want to make a base over here. And I think because white has some strength over here, I'm going to play the third line instead of the fourth line. Otherwise, white can undercut fairly easily. So we are going to play here. And then depending on what happens here, we can go slide into this corner or go attack these stones. That's another kind of weakness that white has, is the debt that needs to be paid. These three stones aren't quite strong yet. So I'm real curious where white plays here. So white plays the kick. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty big because we were talking about, potentially sliding in, but this is fine. We'll just extend. I think this is a fair exchange. We both get a fair amount of points here. Okay, so now he plays this to fix the 3-3, which makes sense because without this stone we can play the 3-3. Are we going to... This is so small. I feel like this isn't big. But I don't know. This is tough. This feels like endgame. This does feel like endgame. But I also feel like we lose a lot if white gets to play G2 or H2. So yeah, let's go play this. This firms up some points. Gets white a pretty big corner, though. Gets white a pretty big corner. Okay, so he does connect there. Sometimes we can just let that stone get sacrificed. But now we get Sente, and so that's nice. And we've got strength here. White has this weak group. There's potential up here. I mean, we have to go after these stones. The question is, are we going to do it by developing off the corner, or are we going to do it by pressing this group? If we just go off the corner, white can connect fairly easily. Yeah, let's just play over here. Looks to build the top, looks to attack these stones. Though I'm not doing a firm attack on these stones yet because I really don't know the best way to approach it yet. So we're just going to kind of keep on playing our normal game here. Okay, and so white jumps in. I think I'm going to pincer this. That's my first inclination, is to pincer. And then we can develop the top. And if he jumps into 3-3, we'll just take the outside, which probably guarantees a kill on these three stones. So yeah, let's just go pincer this. White should probably jump out. But even that's going to be a little risky. Because we'll be able to really develop this area. Potentially even look to cut off. So I'm curious which way he goes. So he is going to jump into the 3-3. So I guess we can go either way with it, right? We can play here. I want to do this variation. I want to block here, and just hope for the standard variation here. Because if we get the standard variation, we end with the stone at N15. And so white is going to go that way. So okay, yep, we go here, which threatens P18 to connect to M18. So white has to block that somehow. So white goes and extends to O18. And so now we get to play here. And now an attack is much more easily seen on these three stones. Will white try to save them? Interested in seeing. Okay, so white jumps in. But that just creates another weak group. Though there is a cut here that we need to be aware of, and obviously we've got this stone. But if white cuts here, I think we'll be fine. I just want to jump out here. I want to jump out here, and then as this fight develops, we'll naturally be developing this area. So this feels fine to me. Is white going to jump out? No, white is going to kick. Okay, well, I think we just extend, right? Keep our group strong. And once we do this, he can't jump out because we can cut these off. So yeah, let's just extend. That feels pretty good to me. Yeah, I think white will be in a lot of trouble if white chooses to jump out. So white looks to play here. Yep, that makes sense. So now I'm looking at just attaching to this stone. And then if white extends, would we really sacrifice this stone? Right? Because if we play here and white extends and we look at J15, he can push through and take this stone. So this is a situation where I think we actually need to count. So I'm going to take some time here and count and see where things are. So I will go ahead and do that. And with the magic of editing, I have done that. So interestingly, white has all 4 corners. But if we successfully kill these 3 stones by taking this, I have us up by about 15 points or so. So I think we can give this stone up, give white the entire top and both corners and this little tiny side, and I think our center is going to be big enough to get there as long as no shenanigans happen. So we're going to play this and see how white wants to deal with this. And so yep. This is what I had counted. I had counted this exchange and white playing h16, and then us tanukiing. And so white goes and takes, and that is fine because I think these 3 stones are dead. And so now I just want to make sure that this center can't get reduced too much. So after this exchange, I'm looking at part of the counting was me playing d7. And stopping white from firmly getting in. So I do want to play this move. But I think first I'm going to play L16. It's a forcing move because of the Atari here. And then the threat of capturing these 3 stones. So let's go play this. This is Sente. It blocks any hope for white coming in here. And again threatens the Atari at K17. So he goes and fixes that. And that is fine. Yep, that's an interesting way to fix it. I don't know. Maybe just connecting solidly would have been better. But either way, this was part of all my counting. And part of my counting was me playing D7 after this exchange. So that is where we're going to play. And if my counting was accurate, I'm up by about 15. And hopefully white can't find a way to break in, but our friend is a strong player and he's not going to give up too easily. Okay, white extends expected. I think we will extend as well, and wouldn't be surprised if white plays something like b9 or e5. I would probably play something like e5, but let's see where our friend plays. Yeah. Yep, b10. That makes a lot of sense to me. So do we want to look at e5 or b10? Which one is larger? They're both pretty large. They are both pretty large. But I think I'm going to play b10. Otherwise, we lose a lot of points here, and then this threatens b8 later. So we're going to play b10, and if white pushes, we'll just block. Or white could play e5. Now we weren't going to get both of them. Yeah, so white pushes, we have to block. No other move to consider here. We're just going to block. And now I fully expect white could also play r13. That's a big move too. That is a big move as well. And e5. Those are probably some of the bigger ones on this board. White could look at f15, g15, lots of options. So, yep, not too surprising. Okay, we have to block this. So we can look at attaching. We can look at the diagonal. I think just attaching is fine enough here. I don't think the cut's going to work because of the threat of connecting up top. So white pushes, and obviously we're gonna block this. There's no question there. We had to do that, and now white is breaking in here. Well, does this work? What happens if we just cut? If we play here and white blocks, we cut. If we play here and white descends, we push, which threatens the cut here or the cut here. I don't think this works. Do not think this might have been a big mistake. This might have been a big mistake. But I don't see anything, right? If I play here and white blocks, we get to just cut immediately. And we're already connected. And if white descends, we get to play here, which threatens the cut here and here. I don't, this may have been a real big mistake. I don't see a way out of this for white. And white didn't see a way out either, I don't think. Okay, yeah, we're obviously going to cut. But I don't see what white can do here. So that may have been a whoopsie. Yep, that is a fantastic endgame move. I don't think we can play here because white will cut. And if we Atari and white extends, then white threatens to capture these three with F5, and then obviously threatens to capture the two that would be left here with H1. What I mean by that, I can click it out. If white goes here, if we Atari, now white has 4 liberties, we only have 2, so we lose that. And if we Atari this way, if we do this, then we lose these stones. So I do not think we can do that. I think we just have to play here. I fully expect white to play G1. White does play G1. So the question is, can we get away with playing the Atari, and if he captures, we extend, or do we just connect? I think we can just connect. I think both options are okay, but let's just connect. This will be fine. When I had done my count, I actually hadn't counted a lot of points down here because of the unblocked O2 stone. So that is fine. Though white is definitely going to gain here, but we gained quite a bit by this exchange. When I counted, I wasn't counting getting all this either. So yeah, we have to block. I don't want white to get this cut, so we will go, and white pushes, and yeah, we'll just connect and then just be done with it. White can Tanuki. I suspect white's going to play R13 now. No, okay, it takes this Atari. That's fine. We're obviously going to connect, and now we are in the nitty gritty annals of endgame. He goes and takes this Hane. I think R13 would have been larger. I do think R13 would have been larger, but I will go play this. That is fine. And white connects. And do I just want to play R13 now, or do we want to look at something like B14? C8. We could even look at something like E16. Is this Sente? Kind of looks like Sente. Yeah, let's go play this. Because if white doesn't play anything, we get to push, and then Atari and ladder. It's a little complicated, but there is something there. White agreed. There was something there. I don't think we can get too much more than this exchange. And I do think R13 is just huge. So let's go play R13. And at this point, we are pretty much just in nitty-gritty endgame. But counting again, I still think I am up. Yep, that's fine. We will block this. Then white connects, and so now we can just threaten to capture these 2 stones. And I suspect white will block, and now we can play here, which threatens to kill the 3 stones, and I suspect white needs to fix, and white does. So now what? P17, S3. Yeah, we've got some options. S13. So yeah, let's just go play the Sente moves. We will play here. I'm sure white will block, and that is fine. And now we'll go take S3. Another big endgame move. White blocks, we will connect, which threatens t2, and so black goes and blocks that. What next? We could look at n17, but actually let's go play s13. It's tough. There's a pinch at s14 and a pinch at b12. White's probably going to get one of them. But I guess before we do any of that, let's just capture this. I know it's a weird looking move, but it threatens a cut here, which, you know, threatens to kill the whole thing. So, and now I think we're just going to block s13. White has a pinch at both s14 and b12. I don't think we're going to get both of them, though this threatens to kill this group. So white does descend. That's fine. And actually, we can play here. This is Sente, right? Yeah, because it threatens to block or to cut rather. And so then white does connect. Oh, that was dumb. That was dumb because now white can just play here, and yeah, that was dumb. Because if we go and fix this, white's just going to Atari and then come out, and then there are lots of cuts. So let's connect this, see if we can threaten something with c16. And then white pitches. Yeah, that's totally understandable. Same thing. I don't think we can play here. We've got a liberty shortage here. Yeah, this is fine. We are still ahead even with this, and so that is fine as long as we just, I think, finish this game out peacefully. We'll be okay. Interestingly, this doesn't actually connect. You need to do one of the two monkey jumps. It looks like it really connects, right? But it actually doesn't, because we can play this. And if white plays here, then we Atari and connect. And so, yeah, so white plays here. We get to play the Atari, which is pretty fantastic. And now we get to connect, which threatens to kill these 3 stones because we can throw in and then go and kill. So that was a little bit of a end game whoopsie. Yeah, white lost some points there. So there isn't too much left to this game, so let's just go finish it off. We will Atari here. White goes and connects. Let's throw in. Because yeah, maybe that turns something on with the cut. So we'll throw in. He captures. Cool. Okay, well, Atari, let's see if he's okay reading it. He just connects. Does the cut do anything? I don't think it does. We play here, and he's just gonna drive it up. Okay. So let's go play n17. That threatens to push through. So now he extends and he threatens to push. Oh, fine. We'll just block. And now he plays here. Yeah, it's interesting. Let's follow up on top. That is fine. And he blocks. We can look at t16. And I'm sure he's going to Atari, and we will connect. And maybe he plays t13 now. Oh. I guess he was worried about something there. Okay, that's fine. We'll go take t13. And now he plays here. That's fine. We will go Atari. He connects. We'll go play t3 and just finish out this nitty-gritty endgame. Okay, so he pushes. We block. He goes to look to disconnect. Does that do anything? Sure, we'll connect. I think it's just Dame. We're probably just in Dame land. Threatens the cut. Yep, we will connect. Then he plays this. And remember, we are playing AGA scoring, so Dame matters. We'll go play this. And we will just... so do we just want to play here and go through? But then there's this cut. You want to know what? If he wastes a move connecting, we can waste a move connecting and just not worry about it. And then we just have these two moves. And you're going to notice that as white plays this, all the, some of the points come up. This is where I ended the recording, but the game did finish. We did finish up the Dame, and filled here, and then he got one of these, I got the other, and then the game officially ended here. And it's interesting, even with white getting all 4 corners, we ended up winning this game by 13.5 points. And I was really happy with that. I felt like I felt like we were in, we started off really in a great position when we were going here. Though I definitely did mess things up. I don't actually like how this turns out. I think if white just connects here, I'm not really sure we've got a great plan. But this once I got this cut, I felt like I was in a really good position. Though AI says that white's actually doing better here, which I found pretty surprising. But once we got once we got this attack going and this cut here, I thought I was in a great position, and I didn't really express it very well when I was playing through the game here. But when I was playing in the tournament, I thought there was a really good chance I was actually going to kill this group. I really, really did, but I did rein in that because I knew, again, just surrounding in Sensei was gonna be fine, and so this all felt great. Though I do wonder if playing here just kills outright. Looking at this with AI afterwards, it sees some wacky AI huge exchange that says it's still fine for white. But from my perspective, I feel like this kills the group, and then black's just in a commanding position. But again, I knew if I surrounded in Sensei, that I'd be fine. And so yeah, so once we got this, and I got the Tanuki, and was able to fully surround here, I knew we were in a good position. But it was a really interesting game, and really interesting to see, because during the game I felt like I was so far ahead the entire game, and that just really wasn't the case. The game was actually a lot closer than I thought it was when playing. Either way, really fun game. Obviously really happy with the win. So where does that leave us? We ended the tournament with a record of 3-1. Pretty cool place to be. That gave us 18 rating points. So I went from negative 1.51 to negative 1.33. So we are inching our way to the magical land of Wondan, even though I've played some Wondan players, and I know they're stronger than me. So I certainly have more work to do before we actually get there. But still very happy with my performance this tournament. Hope you guys enjoyed this little series. I actually have another tournament coming up in a couple weeks, so we might hop right back into one of these sessions again, because I like doing this. It gives me another good reason to review my games, another opportunity to review my games, so I get something out of it as well. Hopefully you guys do too. Please let me know if that's not the case and you guys are sick of this and you want to see other stuff, because there are other things I can do as well. So that's where we'll leave this one. Thank you for watching the video. Thank you for watching the series if you watched them all. Again, hopefully you enjoyed it. Anyway, as per always, thank you for coming out for another Iron Star Bus where every will is then a triangle. Have a good one, guys.